What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for some more live content for you guys. Quiet day, international break. Bloody hell. These international breaks come around thick and fast, don't they?
Yeah.
Never stop. It's like Ange.
I think last season we were looking forward to international breaks at points, but at the moment, it's come at the wrong time. On an unbeaten run, just got a win. Tell and Kudus both getting their first goal, bit of momentum. And I'm really hoping, I think we're all going to be watching some of these international games probably behind the sofa, hoping for no injuries, especially the Ghana game. Because if Kudus gets injured, we're in big trouble. But look, it's a happy time at Tottenham at the moment.
It is a happy time. You know, what are we sitting third in the league? Fourth or third?
Third, because Palace
third
lost
in the league.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's a lot of moans and groans in terms of the way we're playing our football, but
I think everyone's pretty understanding.
Yeah, I hope so, because like after the Wolves game and the few Bodo game and stuff like that, people were just getting a bit irate at the situation. But I think if you look at all in all the season that we've had, I think only positives really.
I think that just goes to show the kind of time we live in, where a couple of bad performances, not even results, but I mean results were not great as well, but it's more like the performances weren't great. All of a sudden, people are getting irate and nervous and not angry, but people want instant success, don't they? They want to see instant improvement. If there's not an improvement in the next game, all of a sudden, what's going on? People are asking questions. And look, people are right to point out the performances haven't been good in some games and all that kind of stuff. But you have to appreciate the job Frank is doing at the moment, I think.
In terms of the international break, I heard that they're trying to reform international breaks where next year or whenever it comes in, they're going to make the first two international breaks into one international break, one big, long international break. How do you feel about
that? Good. I prefer it. I mean,
for one big long break instead of two.
I don't like these long. I don't like you have an international break. You're back in the swing of things, then all of a sudden it breaks up again. I'd rather a longer break and then just a continuous flow of Premier League action. The less that gets broken up for me, the better. So I'm all for it. Just get as many internationals out the way as quickly as possible. I think it makes more sense because this stop-start doesn't actually make sense for the internationals, for the international manager. He gets a week with the players and then all of a sudden they go back to the clubs. Like, imagine how much more work they could get done if they had a block of 3 weeks, just continuous. And they could get their methods across much better. And I think, at the moment, I feel with international management, there's why the football isn't so great a lot of the time is because these managers don't get too long with their players to implement ways of playing. And so that's why I think defensive football and counter-attacking football works a lot better at international level than it does at club level because of the time the managers get with their players. But I think if you get a bit longer, that will help the international managers as well.
Yeah. Do you not feel like, just thinking out loud, thinking about it now, like maybe they should do that before the season even starts?
Or in the summer?
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Like have your pre-season with your clubs, then go away with the internationals, then start the season.
What I would like is just do it even before pre-season.
But then the players just don't even get a break at all.
Well, then but then they're not having. Well, you put in a break in the season somewhere.
The winter break. What happened to the winter break?
No, you get a break. I'm saying you get a break you get a 6-week break.
But I'm talking about leagues actually stop completely in the Christmas period.
I'm talking about maybe starting the season later, potentially. Like you get a break, same, and then you would pre-season would usually be July, wouldn't it? So you'd get all these internationals out of the way in July to August, and then you start your pre-season then. Yeah.
So the season would start in September.
Yeah. Or maybe late August, September time.
And that means it wouldn't finish till June, July?
It'll finish in June.
And then the internationals. Then there's no break whatsoever, which is crazy because then you're back to the internationals in July, pre-season in August. There's literally no break.
You'd work it out. There's a way to work it out. I don't know off the top of my head. I've only just come up with it, but I think there's a way to do it. instead of doing this madness.
Yeah, there should never be a pre-season, an international break for friendlies. Like, that should not be a thing anymore. Like, it's just pointless. It's a pointless exercise.
Especially when you got the Nations League, you got all this nonsense.
Nations League was brought in to replace friendlies, and they're still doing friendlies.
Still
Like
doing friendlies,
England
yeah.
have got a friendly against Wales in a few days' time. Like, what's the point of it?
Just money making.
It's an absolute. It's ridiculous. But anyway, forget all that. We'll get into the internationals once the Spurs players have played. We'll give you our international roundups and everything like that. But let's get into the Tottenham update and Brooklyn Eric, who's been, pretty loud on social media. He's been saying that, or the rumours have been saying that he was going to put in a 4.5 billion offer for Tottenham Hotspur, but yesterday did confirm that he will not make a bid for Tottenham. He put a statement out on X yesterday saying it's been a privilege engaging with Tottenham Hotspur and the Lewis family representatives over the past few months, and I have great respect for the club, its leadership and its supporters, and wish them nothing but success. And there's a statement here on the London Stock Exchange that says the board of Tottenham Hotspur Limited notes that the recent announcements from Firehawk and Mr. Eric's consortium that they do not intend to make an offer for the club. The board thanks them for the constructive approach taken in discussions with the club and the Lewis family representative, and respecting the clear position of the Lewis family that the club is not for sale. Following the announcements made by the consortiums, the club is no longer in an offer period under the City Code on takeovers and mergers. The person responsible for arranging the release of this announcement on behalf of the club is Peter Charrington. So that puts that one to bed.
Yeah, and I think they're the third potential suitor to officially say they're not making a bid. So whether, I don't know how actually serious he was, to be honest, from the get-go. He seemed to be taking it very lightly, the fact that he was making offer, doing all these cryptic posts on social media, teasing the fact that he was going to make these large offers, promising £1.2 billion in transfer budgets. He never seemed that serious to me. It always seemed a bit like he's trying to get his name out there in the news, drum up some interest in him, but ultimately not actually follow through with it, and he was never actually serious about it. So it's come to pass, he's not making an actual bid, an actual offer.
Yeah, I mean, with the other ones, obviously Eric's out, Amanda Stavely, and I can't remember who the third one was, but they've all been.
Was it a Chinese consortium?
A Malaysian, I think it was. Yeah, so they've all been kind of ruled out. However, I was listening to Simon Jordan a couple of weeks ago or a week ago, and he was saying regarding Amanda Stavely, like, he doesn't think we've heard the last of that with
Probably
Stavely
not.
and Spurs. As much as like publicly she's ruled things out, he's like, Stavely's a fighter. Like, she did the same with Newcastle, apparently ruled out and then came back with another bid and ended up taking over Newcastle in the end. Stavely was pictured in the boxes at Tottenham in the NFL on the weekend. I don't know if that's got anything to do with anything, if she's still sniffing around the place though.
Look, at the end of the day, all it means is they can't bid for another 6 months.
Yeah.
6 months is nothing in football.
Yeah.
So it will come around very, very quickly. And all of a sudden, maybe it'll be a different situation. And just because Levy's left doesn't mean the sale's going to go through quickly. But I do think they are going to facilitate one at some point. But it doesn't mean it's going to happen immediately. And they still got to they want to get the best value. Obviously, there was rumours that Levy was a big reason why a sale was becoming difficult, or whether he was charging too high a price, or the fact he wanted to stay on was causing too many problems, and that was obviously part of the reason he left, allegedly anyway. But obviously ENIC want to get the right price for them, and that's going to take time. It's not going to happen immediately.
Yeah.
So I never expected a sale to be agreed this quickly.
All right, well, that's that. It looks like ENIC will be here for, at least the next transfer window anyway. So we'll have to see what they come up with. In terms of Harry Kane, so there's been a lot of rumours surrounding Harry Kane and the return to Tottenham, return to the Premier League, through various ITKs and stuff like that. And Harry Kane has been asked about a potential return to the Premier League or a new deal at Bayern. And he says, in terms of staying longer at Bayern, I could definitely see that. I haven't had those conversations with Bayern yet, but if they were to arise, I'd be willing to talk and have an honest conversation. In terms of the Premier League, I don't know. If you had asked me when I first left to go to Bayern, I would have said for sure I would come back. Now I've been there a couple of years, I would probably say that has gone down a little bit, but I wouldn't say I would never go back. I'm fully all in with Bayern. If there was a conversation about extending, we'll see. But I still have got this season and another season. It's not like I'm in my last year. It's not like there's any panic. I am calm. I love the manager at Bayern. And as long as we are improving and I'm improving, then I'm happy to see what we can achieve. So, I mean, look, at the end of the day, he's not giving too much away.
Yeah, but I mean, he did. I mean, he's been quite honest. He says he's gone down a bit. The fact that whether he'll come back or not.
But going down a bit.
Doesn't have to say that.
Yeah, but going down a bit, I mean, doesn't mean that it still says that it's not sure if he would return or not. So, I mean, I don't read too much into that. I don't think there is too much to read into it.
I don't necessarily think that it's anything definitive, but I do think it's significant the fact he's saying. When I first left Spurs, I was like, okay, I'm leaving Bayern, but it always kind of was meant to be temporary. Now he's not so sure, which means maybe there's a higher possibility he either ends his career at Bayern or maybe he doesn't even come back to the Premier League and go somewhere else. I can understand his thinking because obviously as English football fans, and he's so close to that Premier League record, and also, England's is home, you'd think one day he'll want to come back, break that record, and that would be up there with his kind of goals before he ends his career. And I'm sure that is, but that is probably still the case. I'm sure he's still thinking of it, to be honest. I don't think that's left his mind. But since leaving the Premier League, obviously he's now competing for titles, Champions Leagues every single year, which at Tottenham unfortunately wasn't the case. He's now getting a lot more prestigious kind of he's been looked at with more in a higher echelons. Like, he's been thought of as one of the best footballers in the world now. He's been even talked about potentially as a potential Ballon d'Or winner for next season by some people. Those are the conversations he's now in. Whereas at Tottenham, he was seen as like a fantastic striker. Don't get me wrong, and probably the best striker in the Premier League. But for some reason or another, he was never in those conversations for one of the best players in the world or best strikers in the world, but all because of this trophy talk and all this kind of nonsense, which obviously was nonsense. But now he's at this massive club. He's playing with obviously unbelievable players. Now he's in those conversations. But I wonder what he's thinking when it comes to when he's saying it depends what we achieve, it depends what we're fighting for. Does he mean if I can win that another Bundesliga and win the Champions League, job done at Bayern and go home? Or is it like if we're not like in getting close to a Champions League, then maybe I need to move on somewhere else to a different club? I wonder what does he mean by that? What depends what we look to achieve.
Where's the actual quote? I don't know, but I just feel like he will be back. I really believe it. Like, I don't know if it's going to be this summer or next summer. Maybe he'll wait until his contract's completely run down. Look, I have no doubt in my mind that he's enjoying his time at Bayern and he loves it there, and he's in a team full of winners and he's in a club that wins year in, year out. And I think he loves it there. And I think the way he's thinking about it right now, he's inside those four walls of Bayern Munich, and he's fully invested in the project, and he's a pure professional. So I don't think he has the need to think about leaving or think about anything else at this moment in time. But when push comes to shove and there's an offer on the table from a Premier League club, and that Premier League club is serious and significant and going in the right direction and has chances to win trophies, I think he'll end up leaving.
Yeah. Guess it all depends. What do you reckon, even this summer?
It could be this summer, but I think more likely to be at the end of his contract.
Yeah. And then obviously he can leave on a free, but maybe he'll want to make sure Bayern get a fee like he did with Tottenham. I don't know if he cares about that or not. Obviously he left with a year left when he could have waited a year with Spurs.
I think that stuff with him wanting Spurs to get a fee, or I think that was all just talk, to be honest. I think he just wanted out of the club. Like, he wanted to move on. I don't think like he left the year early just because he wanted Spurs to get a fee. I just think he wanted to go and win trophies.
Yeah. But for Tottenham to be in a position where he's willing to come back, where do we have to be, do you think? Is just enough? Is let's say we finish fifth this season, but that's enough for Champions League, right? Is that enough to say, all right, Harry, come back and get us back in a title race, or get us into a title race or something? Or do we have to actively be in a position where we're looking like we're getting closer to actually challenging for a league title?
Yeah, I don't think we need to be actively in a title race, but I think that there needs to be something to show him that we could be in a title race, and he could be that kind of missing piece to push us into that kind of zone in the Premier League. And it's all about the conversation that he has with Thomas Frank and the management at Tottenham Hotspur. So it's all about selling him a project, isn't it? I don't think it's about seeing what we've done in the previous year. It's all about selling to him and showing him what we can do in the next coming years.
Yeah, and right, but let's say, but could we do enough this season?
We have to be in the Champions League. That's for sure. That's a certainty. We have to be in the Champions League.
Yeah, he's not coming if we're not in the Champions League.
No, we have to be in the Champions League, and Frank needs to be able to sell him the idea of Spurs being in a title race.
Or even if we finish fifth, we could like this season.
If we get a Champions League and finish fifth, I think that's the good starting block. Like to be in the Champions League, that's the bare minimum, and I think the rest of that has to be sold by Thomas Frank.
Is there anywhere else in the Premier League you think he could you could see him playing in? No,
to be honest. Could I see him? I don't think he goes to Man City because Erling Haaland's there. Manchester United are just a shit show. Unless they like dramatically improve over the next year, I can't see him going there. Liverpool, they've got Ekitike and Isaac now. I can't see them being in the market for a striker. Arsenal's complete no-go. And the other one is Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea, they could be in the market for a number 9. They got Delap and João Pedro.
It's not really in their policy, is it?
No.
To go for a 33-year-old.
Not really in our policy either.
No, but I think we've done it before. I mean, we got Bale, who was only on loan, but we can make exceptions.
Yeah. Nah, I can't really see him going anywhere but Tottenham in the Premier League. And it's not even just about going to a club where you think you can win the Premier League. I think it is in his mind, whether he says it or not. I think it is that he wants to break that Shearer record. As much as trophies are amazing, breaking Shearer's record, you still go down as one of the best Premier League players of all time. Alan Shearer didn't win many. I know he won the Premier League with Blackburn, but he's not remembered for that. He's remembered for being the top goal scorer the Premier League has seen. Yeah,
I do wonder if he wins another Bundesliga and they're not looking close for a Champions League, does he just say, all right, I've won 2 Bundesligas, it's time to go back now?
I think you can safely say they're going to win the Bundesliga this year.
10 wins in a row.
They've got no challenger. They've got no challenger this year. Bayer Leverkusen have dropped off the face of the earth, and there's no one else really to challenge them this year. Champions League is the big one for them. I think they've got it in them to win it. They're going to be they're one of the favourites, but it's so hard to call the Champions League. You've got so many other good clubs as well.
It's mad to think about as well with his current goal scoring record. If they do go on to win the Champions League and England have a decent World Cup as well, there's a very realistic chance he's winning a Ballon d'Or. Very realistic.
Imagine Spurs sign the Ballon d'Or winner.
That would be incredible.
That would be crazy.
That would be madness. Imagine if you cast your mind back to when all those memes were being done with Harry Kane in the Jesus costume and all that.
There were memes with Harry Kane holding a Ballon d'Or.
Holding a Ballon d'Or, yeah. Now, 10 years later, we are actually realistically talking about Kane. And to be honest, she should have been in those conversations for a long time. Unfortunately, because we underachieved as a club, he was never in those conversations.
See, the Ballon d'Or is not actually about the best player in the world. The Ballon d'Or is about the best player at the best club. You know what I mean?
Because he had that 1 year at Tottenham where he actually outscored Messi and Ronaldo. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And
he should have won it just for that.
He could have won it just for that. But yeah, because we were never close to a Premier League or a Champions League, really. Obviously, we did get to a final, but he actually wasn't involved in that year. he's never been involved in those conversations. But now he's at a club like Bayern, he's actually got a realistic chance of actually lifting a Ballon d'Or.
I would love to see him back at the club, no matter his age. I think he's still got so much in him. I think he would come here and take us on to another level, in my opinion. I think he's one of the most, if not the most, disrespected players in world football. The way he's talked about is nowhere near kind of the level he's at. You know, we were just talking off camera, talking about him being potentially the best player in European football, and I think he's not far off it. I really do believe that. See the goal he scored last weekend. Like, oh my
Phenomenal.
days.
The way it swerved.
Outside of the foot. That swerve, oh my God, man.
And you know, Lewandowski, how old was he when he moved to Barca? He was like 35, and he won a league, got Golden Boot there. Like, I think Kane could easily go into his late 30s, still bagging in and being the top goal scorer conversations in the Premier League.
So Harry Kane, right? Have you seen the form that this guy is on?
It's ridiculous form.
So last game he scored 1. The game before that he scored 2. The game before that he scored 2. The game before that he scored 3. The game before that he scored 2. The game before that he got 2 goals and an assist. The game before that he got 1. The game before that against Andorra, funnily enough, he got 0. Game before that he got 2 goals and an assist. The game before that he got 2 goals. The game before that he scored a hat-trick. The game before that he got a goal. I mean, this guy is on crazy
He's the best
form.
player in the world right now.
Yeah.
Best player in the world right now for sure. So how many goals is he actually on?
So in the Bundesliga, he's on 11 goals in 6 games.
It's crazy.
3 assists in there as well. In domestic cup, he's got 2 goals in 1 game. For England, in the Champions League, he's got 4 goals in 2 games. In World Cup qualification, he's got 4 goals in 5 games.
So if you're just in for Bayern, we're just about hit October, and he's already on nearly 20 goals.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's madness. Madness. He's already had a good season. If ending now, he's had a good season.
Yeah. He's got more goals this season that Solanke and Richarlison got like combined over the last season.
Do you think there's a chance if he didn't score another goal between now and the whole end of the season, he still gets more goals than our strikers?
Probably.
How mad is that?
Ridiculous. But anyway,
That's crazy.
That's Harry Kane. Let's hope he can come home. I don't think if it does happen, I really don't believe it's going to be this summer. I think it'll be the end of his contract at the end of next summer. Let's talk about Luka Vuskovic. Vuskovic has been named as Bundesliga's Rookie of the Month for September, breaking records. We know that Vuskovic loves to break a record. In every league that he's gone to, he's broken records. And the Bundesliga is no different. Vuskovic became the first player to win 18 aerial duels in a single match in Europe's top 5 leagues over the last 5 seasons. SofaScore's records, which began in 15-16. Sorry, the last one to beat him was in 15-16, which was a record held by Andy Carroll for 24 aerial duels against Everton, 28th of December 2019. So the records did begin in 15-16, and that's when the last a player in the top 5 leagues got over 18 aerial duels.
Yeah, it's mental. I've never seen, forget even just for an 18-year-old, I don't think I've ever seen any player as aerially dominant as that. It's absolute monstrous. The guy, when you put into the fact he's only 18, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible, the numbers he's putting out. And if you look at his career trajectory, he seems to be again, stepping up in a better league and absolutely smashing out yet again.
Yeah, unbelievable. So I think this has got to be his last loan spell. He's got to come back into Tottenham next year and be part of the first team squad. And that's why I was saying to you last week when we were talking about it and potential signings, like, if we are going to go for a centre-back, it has to be a loan, because we've got enough centre-backs on the roster. Just some of them are out on loan. And Vuskovic has got to be top of that list. Like, he's got to come back into the first team fold next season.
Yeah, and when he won Rookie of the Month.
Yeah.
Rookie of the Month. Incredible for him as well, and only a second month in Bundesliga football. Incredible.
And he scored, didn't he? He scored.
Nice goal.
He scored Hamburg's first Bundesliga goal in 7 years.
Yeah, he scored, and then also a few minutes later did a goal line clearance to keep the lead.
Yeah.
Last game, I'm just looking at his stats. won 5 of his 7 aerial duels. Like, the guy barely gets beaten in the air, And he's only 18.
I know.
It's mental.
Mad.
And he's playing in a top 5 league. He's playing in a good league now. Like before, you
could say Bundesliga's top 3 league.
You can maybe say, it's a very good league. And before he was doing it in the Croatian, he was doing it in the Polish, he was doing it in the Belgian, which are all, not as good as the top leagues. But now he's literally doing it in a top 5 league, and he's like absolutely phenomenal. And Hamburg were tipped to struggle as well this season, and they're currently 9th in the league. He's doing really well.
Yeah.
Doing unbelievably well.
Absolutely. So big up to Luka Vuskovic, man. Next up, we're going to talk about Mikey Moore. Football Insider has revealed that Mikey is unhappy with his role at Rangers so far. Russell Martin had deployed Moore on both flanks and instructed Tottenham youngster to tuck inside rather than stay outside. Sources with knowledge of the player situation believe the tactical instruction is the reason why we've not seen Mikey Moore at his best in a Rangers shirt yet. Tottenham have the option to end the loan spell in January, and it is asserted that the London club could seriously consider activating the option and ending his stay in Glasgow prematurely. If Spurs do recall Mikey Moore, the likely outcome is that the youngster will go on loan elsewhere for the second half of the season. It is explained that the winger will have no shortage of suitors in the winter if he is made available on loan, as clubs like Birmingham and Middlesbrough did want Mikey in the summer for a season-long loan spell, and they could reignite their interest if he is recalled. I mean, look, Middlesbrough doing fantastically well, second in the Championship, first before the last weekend. Yeah, I mean, look, it's a massive shame. It's not going well for Mikey at this moment in time. You're looking at the players that we currently have on loan. There are some of them are just absolutely smashing it, and we're going to get into a loan report in a minute. But with Mikey, he's just gone into a club that is just a shit show throughout, and it's hard for any of their players to do well. Never mind Mikey Moore, like a teenager in new surroundings and everything like that. Like Russell Martin's just been sacked, so it could very well change from now until January. So I still think watch this space with Mikey Moore and Rangers, because now the manager's gone, you do expect things to get a lot better there. I mean, like Rangers are sitting like 8th in the league. I think they've won like a handful of games this season.
From one.
This is mad. This is Glasgow Rangers you're talking about, playing the likes of Falkirk and Motherwell and all these teams, you know what I mean? And they can't get a win. This is crazy. This is unheard of. So I do think things will change now. A new manager's going to come in.
Yeah, and we'll see how that affects Mikey Moore's role. Obviously, maybe a new manager comes in, doesn't fancy him. We'll have to wait and see. If things are not going right, recall him and get him on loan to a Championship side, and that'll be the best course of action for me. Even Scottish League in general, I don't think is like fantastic for his development, because the Scottish League isn't the highest calibre. Obviously, he's got European football, so the Europa League games are really good, but I prefer him. I think the Championship would be better for his development if he gets regular game time there. So I wouldn't mind recalling him and putting him somewhere else. But yeah, it's not gone well for him. Obviously, Russell Martin's been a disaster, but I've watched a few of his games and he has struggled, unfortunately. But he's been played on the right-hand side quite a bit. I don't think he's as suited to that role. Look, I was so excited about watching Mikey Moore in Rangers in Scotland. And whenever I've seen Rangers on the TV, I do watch it just to see how he's doing, and it's not been a pretty watch, unfortunately. So hopefully this change of manager can completely change his fortunes. But
could be Stevie G, they're saying.
Could be. We'll see. But let's just hope whoever it is takes a fancy to Moore and starts him.
I hope so, because look, it's no secret my love for Mikey and the talents that he does have, and it's really upsetting, to be honest, to see how this loan spell has gone, because I was so excited when I heard that he was going to Glasgow Rangers. I thought it was a league that he could smash it in, could dominate in. When you saw him for Spurs in the Europa League last season, and some of the teams that he played against in the Europa League would probably finish in the top 2, top 3 in the SPL. So look at RZ Alkmaar and the way he took them to the cleaners in that second half, right? If he could take those performances into the SPL, he'd be like one of the best players in the SPL. So it's just about the manager finding a right role for him, giving him some confidence. I just hope his confidence hasn't taken a knock.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. But he's still young, And you cast your mind back to last year when we talk about, we'll get into Donnelly later, but Donnelly at this point was barely playing for Orient. It took until like November to get into the team, and then he had an unbelievable loan spell. So things can change very quickly.
Yeah, of course. So that's Mikey, and we're going to finish off talking about some quotes from Wayne Rooney on Match of the Day on Mohamed Kudus, and he says, I think that he's been a breath of fresh air. If you look at the stats from the game, he's finished first in everything. Duels won, successful dribbles, shots, touches in the opposition box, sprints, and he's had a real impact for Tottenham this season. He's got 4 assists this season, joint first in the Premier League. He's by far the most successful dribbles in the league. So all that was missing was the goal. And I think that goal against Leeds will push him to the next step. He's been a real top signing. And yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more with what Wayne Rooney has had to say on Mohamed Kudus. I've loved watching Kudus play so far at Spurs. He's offered something for us that we've just been crying out for on the wings for so long. I still think we need that kind of talent out on the left wing, which we haven't seen from our players just yet. But speaking on Kudus alone, I think that goal is really going to kickstart his season now, and he's going to start to get regular contributions for us.
Yeah, and I think he seems to be getting in more goal-scoring positions over the last few games as well. So clearly that's something they're working on. But I agree with everything Rooney said. I didn't know he was such a stat merchant. Wayne Rooney doesn't come across as one, but yeah, I think that's the thing with Kudus this season. You can see how much he offers, not just with his dribbling, which we know is elite, and that is like freakishly good. How good he is in the dribbling department, but I think what's maybe taking a lot of Spurs fans by surprise is how combative he is, how involved in the duels he gets, how hard he does work as well. All those different things is what he provides for the team, and how good he is when we're struggling in build-up and he has to kind of keep the ball and he has to kind of get us out of trouble. He's a bit of a cheat code in that essence. So he's been a phenomenal. Would you say he's been better than expected?
I mean, when we were talking about him, when we signed him, I think he's doing what it said on the tin, to be honest. Like, this is exactly what we've said he was going to do. We said he's going to, be immense for us in the duels in terms of his physicality. We said we're buying one of the best dribblers in the league. I mean, everything that we said that he was going to bring to Spurs, it feels like he's bringing.
Yeah, but obviously you had those maybe thoughts at the back of your mind with how bad, the fact that it didn't go so well in the second season.
I didn't have those thoughts.
Okay, but the fact he's hit the ground running, is that no? It's not a surprise.
Not to me. No, I thought we were buying a top player in Mohamed Kudus, and I think his year last year at West Ham, I never thought that was the true reflection of what Mohamed Kudus was. And I was delighted when we signed him. I thought we were signing a top player, and I think he's performing how I expected him to perform.
Just needs to get in Semenyo's here now, doesn't he?
Yeah, can you imagine? Can you imagine in next year we've got Kane up top, Semenyo on the left, Kudus on the right.
Don't even.
It's a new Tottenham, mate. Bigger picture.
Let's hope. Let's pray. But yeah, look, he's starting to get more and more recognition now.
Well, are you surprised?
I'm not surprised. No, I'm just maybe some fans might be. I don't know.
Yeah. But look, that is your Tottenham update for today. Let us know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news stories that we have brought you today. And we're going to move on, and we're going to go to a loan watch. So we've got a hell of a lot of players out on loan this season. And we're going to go through player by player and see how they're getting on at their loan clubs. And we're going to start off with George Abbott. Unfortunately, George Abbott ain't on the overlay, but he has 9 games and 1 goal and 1 assist in the Cup too. He is playing for Wycombe, obviously, and on the back of that loan spell last year, very successful loan spell at Notts County, he's carrying it on at Wycombe, a league up as well. If we go to X, we got a few highlights from him as well. So he is just a phenomenal talent, George Abbott, and I feel like he doesn't get like the recognition that he deserves. George
Another
Abbott.
player taking a step up and feeling at home.
Yeah,
which is really, really great. And you look at this goal. I mean, this is such a good goal. The way he in a tight space, keeps it away from about 3 defenders and buries it into the corner. He makes it look easy, but that is so hard to do. The strength to keep it, the close control, and the finishing ability as well. Absolutely phenomenal. And he was known for scoring bangers last season in League Two, and he seems to be capable of it as well now in League One.
Yeah, and if you scroll down to the next one, this is an assist that he got as well. Lovely overlapping run, and puts it on the money. Look at that overlap, bang, over the top, and right on the money.
Class.
Right on the money.
So he seems to be performing in League One as well, and he seems to be making that step up quite comfortably.
Yeah.
And he's one, obviously, he was captain of that side a couple of years ago, the under-21s. Highly thought of, very versatile, but he seems to have found a home kind of in that central midfield, the number 8 box kind of position. And he just keeps going from strength to strength, doesn't he?
Yeah. 20 years of age, George Abbott. What's the future for him, though? Because
so tough to say, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Because maybe it's just to keep going up the league, I guess. But
yeah, so he's 20. I mean, is it another loan spell, maybe Championship or Premier League, if he keeps going in his vein for Wickham, if he keeps playing every game and playing as well as he is. So yeah, the thing is, we've got so much talent out on loan, and we've got so much talent in our squad as well in that specific area. Got Gray, who's developing, Bergvall, who are younger than him, and they're in the first team. So it's so hard to say that he's got a future in the first team, but I'd like to think there's a pathway. But I look at the options we have, I'm like, how is he ever going to get in this first team?
Yeah.
Unless one of these players is leaving, or he's just that good that we have to keep him. But maybe the future is we get a decent fee for him down the line.
maybe. I hope he can be part of the first team squad because he's a proper Tottenham boy. He's showing such talent. He's got that leadership ability as well. I would like to see him in and around the first team at some point.
Maybe he can replace Ben Tenkor in 2 years' time.
Maybe, but look, he should get another loan. Let's see the way the rest of his season goes. It's only the early days, and it's positive that he's showing these kind of signs so early on at Wickham. But let's see how the rest of his season goes, and if it keeps going on in this trajectory, then get a really top quality loan next season, Championship, upper end of the Championship probably. But yeah, that's George Abbott. Next up is Damola Ajayi, who's on loan at Doncaster. I think it must have been the first of its kind where he actually played against Tottenham in the Carabao Cup for Doncaster.
Yeah,
one added to the Jed Spence Penitentiary. But yeah, with Ajayi, he's kind of struggling for minutes a little bit at the moment. In the league, he's being used as more of a sub at the latter stage of the game. He obviously has been starting in the cup games, but in the league, he's struggling to make the first 11 for Doncaster. So, look, it's like I said, it's early days. He's played 8 games in the league, mostly as subs, 4 games in the cup. I think most of them has been starts and scored 1 goal. And you look back at pre-season, he was like scoring every game in pre-season. You thought this guy's going to be a star in this Doncaster team, but hasn't really worked out that way just yet.
Yeah, I think he needs a bit of patience, but obviously not been a fantastic start, which is a bit of a surprise, as you say, considering pre-season he was smashing out and it looked like, okay, this guy's going to have a great season, but hasn't quite worked out like that. Again, it's very difficult adapting to men's football when you've been playing basically under 21s your whole career, or reserve football. Obviously, he did score that goal last season in the Europa League when he came on against Elfsborg. So hopefully he can break into that Doncaster team at some point and be a constant fixture in that team. But it just takes some adjustment, I think. Yeah.
Let's move on and talk about Jamie Donnelly. He's on loan at Stoke, obviously, and on the back of such a fantastic loan spell last season, Leyton Orient, I think a lot of fans, Spurs fans, Stoke fans, whoever's been following Jamie Donnelly in his career were expecting big things from him at Stoke. And yeah, it hasn't gone exactly according to plan for Jamie Donnelly as of yet. Hasn't started a league game for Stoke yet, which is, fairly frustrating. He came on off the bench and got an assist on his debut in the first game of the Championship season, but just hasn't seemed to have kicked on. He's kind of fighting for that position in the number 10 with Bae-Jin Ho, who we obviously know pretty well from following South Korea. And, you know, he's a good talent, Bae-Jin Ho. So he's got a big fight on his hands, Jamie Donnelly.
Yeah, but the loan spell last season started very similarly for Orient. He also was struggling near the beginning to get minutes and to get starts. And then all of a sudden, I can't remember if it was a change of manager or maybe he just had a start and did really well. I can't remember what happened, but something changed.
He performed in the Cup, that's what it was.
He performed in the Cup, and then all of a sudden, he went on to be unbelievable. Yeah, it was a weird one because when he came on his debut, got an assist, it was like, okay, he's starting to really get his feet under the table there at Stoke. And I was really excited about this low move, him making that step up. But look, it's been frustrating. No need to panic or anything, but it has been a frustrating start for him. And I'm sure he would have hoped it would have gone better by now. But it's still only October. It's a long season. Who knows what happens? Maybe Bae-Jin Ho gets an injury. Maybe Jamie Donnelly gets an opportunity and he takes it. Lots can change. So I still believe this could turn out well for him.
Yeah. And if you go on to X, this is the assist that he did get on the first game of the season. So, yeah, massive ball up the top. The strikers there fighting, and Jamie Donnelly picks up that loose ball, beats a man, feeds in the striker, and bang, goal. Which was, you know, a very good assist there.
Yeah, and it was. And that was his debut. And it was like, okay, what a start. But he hasn't quite kicked on from there, unfortunately. But I think he's so talented. I think he'll get his opportunity.
Yeah.
I think he'll get it.
Next up, Alfie Dorrington for his second loan spell in the space of 2 years to Aberdeen. Obviously, he went there in January last winter, and he actually won the cup, didn't he, with Aberdeen? He got some silverware, the same summer as Spurs got some silverware. But yeah, it's with Alfie Dorrington again, like he's not seeing too much game time. Only 4 games he's played this season for Aberdeen. So I'm not really sure why it's not going too well for him at Aberdeen.
Yeah, and also considering they'd already seen him last season, so they know what they're getting. So for one reason or another, hasn't quite worked. I read that when he has played, he's played quite well, but maybe he just hasn't been good enough to be made first choice, or maybe he hasn't been that good. I don't know. It's a difficult one, especially considering it's an SPL. And to be fair, I know there's a lot of talk about Dorrington, but I don't see him as a future Tottenham defender, to be honest.
Yeah, look, he's 20 years of age. We've got the likes of Ashley Phillips, Luka Vuskovic out on loan as well, who probably above him in the pecking order.
Takai is there.
Takai, yeah. I mean, there was so many players ahead of him. So I think for him, it's just about trying to make a name for yourself and a career for yourself.
Yeah.
Because when he first broke into that under-21 team, like there was such a rave reviews from the under-21s. And to be fair to him, he did well at Aberdeen at the back end of last season, won that cup. This season, he's just trying to fight for that spot.
That big injury hampered him a lot.
Yeah, massively. So that's Dorrington. Next up, this guy is absolutely smashing it. Tyrese Hall at Notts County. Oh my days. We need to talk about this guy. We need to talk about this guy because if you remember, last season, he was the complete star for the under-21 team. He was playing in so many different positions, a deep line midfielder, attacking midfielder, false nine. Like, we saw him play, which game did it was in the Newcastle friendly in Australia. And we were like, wow, this guy, close control,
a lot of hype
can beat
around
a
him.
man. And you can see why the hype is there because he has got some insane talent. He really does. He's got 7 games, 3 goals and an assist for Notts County. And he's on some mad run of form at the moment, which started off with him coming off the bench and grabbing 2 goals in the space of 25 minutes. And that's really just kick-started this loan spell. And he's got, I think, 4 games in a row now and 4 goal contributions, 3 goals and an assist.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out, because if you look at the goals he scored...
We got them here, by the way.
They're in very attacking positions. But when he was... when there was a lot of hype around him, and a lot of people talk about him, a lot of people say he was more of a deep-lying number 6 kind of midfielder. And more maybe, not defensive, but, just more of a deeper player. who kind of deep progression, dribbling ability in the centre of the park. But maybe, is he developing that attacking side of his game? Because he's played like a winger in these clips.
Well, the last game he started, they played a 3-4-3, and he played one of like the kind of inside tens behind the striker. That's the kind of role he's playing at Notts County.
Is he developing that side of his game? Is he becoming more of an offensive player?
Well, you look at it in the under-21s last season, this is what I'm saying. Like, he was the kind of go-to guy for goals last season, the under-21s. Like I said, he played like false number 9 a number of times. Like, probably, I think that's where he played the majority of his time last year at the under-21s. So already, before he went on this loan spell, that attacking side of his game was there for all to see. And if we look at what he's done, some of the clips here from Tyrese Hall. So this first one, it says here, Tyrese made an instant impact for Notts County, came off the bench in the 67th minute and got 2 goals. I mean, just look at this. Great finishing as well.
Composure, cuts inside into the corner. Lovely.
And this other one, this finish is just beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, tight angle, uses the defender to disguise the shot. Lovely.
And then if you go to the next one.
So this was his goal on the weekend. And this was lovely as well. What I like about this goal is
just guided finish into the far corner.
He doesn't even touch the ball. A lot of players in that position will take a touch to set themselves, but he realised if he can just manoeuvre himself to strike it first time without even having to touch it, he's going to get a little gap to get the shot off, and it just guides it into the corner. It's beautiful and very composed again.
Yeah. And then the next one is the other goal that he scored, so one of the 4 goals. And again, really nice finish into the bottom corner for Tyrese Hall.
And the slide didn't quite work here.
He is really making a name for himself.
Do you think maybe, because there's a lot of talk about him, but do you think maybe he is going to be like a more number 10-y kind of player?
Yeah, I think he's a player that, like Lucas Bergvall, for example, can play many different roles in the midfield, and I think he could be one of them.
I wonder if he's like maybe a Gravenberg type, because he started his career in more of like an attacking midfield position. He's now more of a number 6, but like it takes time to profile these kind of players when they're at such a young age. But it's very interesting to see him playing such high up, and he's getting regular goal contributions. It's fantastic, and Notts County must love us. We got Abbott last season, Tyrese Hall this season. They're doing so well.
And you know what? Like, it has to be. There's something to be said about a club that do well in nurturing your young talents. Because how many times have we seen like some of our players, like Dane Scarlett, who's just been, done dirty at some of his loan spells that he's had. Like Notts County, they seem to be a good home for these young players to go to.
I'm sure Tottenham are taking note.
Yeah, for sure. So that's Tyrese Hall. Very happy with his development so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing him nurture for the rest of the season. So he's definitely having a fantastic loan spell. Will Lancashire, Oxford. He's played 9 games and got 3 goals to his name. Those 3 goals all came of like in a batch, didn't they? And I think he's on a bit of a dry spell at the moment, but he's still starting. I mean, he's pretty much started the majority of games this season. I think, he started every game this season, and he's got 3 goals to his name. So, but I've seen his goals, and they're very much like kind of poachers' finishes, aren't they?
Yeah, which is fine.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but his goals are, extremely high XG goals where he's capitalising off like rebounds and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And that's the kind of striker I feel like he is. He's a big poacher. He's very physical. Look, 3 goals I think to start the season is decent. I'm sure going forward he wants to break this goal scoring drought and that he's on right now and get back amongst it. The fact that he's starting is positive. He's still very young. You got to remember, and obviously scored loads of goals for the under-21s and didn't have a good loan spell for West Brom last season. Did he score even 1 goal? I can't remember.
No.
So, there was even talk, okay, he was at West Brom, but is the Championship his level? I think he's showing at Oxford he can score goals at this level. Let's just hope he can continue. And look, as long as he gets over 10 goals, I'm sure he'll be happy with that, something like that.
Yeah, look, he's already 3 goals there, so 2 more to halfway. If we go, I've got some of his goals. So this one, I think, was his second goal or his first goal. The free kick comes in, parried by the keeper, and there was Will Lancashire to finish it. And the next one was against Leicester, actually, where a shot comes in, another rebound there, and there's Will Lancashire to finish the goal. So that's what I'm talking about, just like very poetry type finishes.
Yeah, right place, right time, always in the right position. That's also an important skill. So
yeah.
If he keeps doing that, that can get you a lot of goals. You know, think about how many goals Haaland gets like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's an important skill, but yeah, of course, he probably will want to see a bit more from him. But I think it's been a positive start.
Yeah. Next up, Mikey Moore at Rangers. Not going too well for Mikey. He's kind of in and out the team in terms of the starting lineup. 5 games, no goals, no assists. 18 years of age. Unfortunately, it's not going too well for Mikey. So we need to, now the manager's gone, it's time for him to like really kickstart that career at Rangers.
Yeah, it's been a very difficult start for the club. He's obviously played a few games, especially he's played some of the Europa League as well. But it's a difficult environment, I'm sure, for him to be when it's a very toxic environment. You got fans chasing the manager out of grounds. He needs security. That's no environment for an 18-year-old kid to develop, is it? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So hopefully the change of manager can really help, and hopefully that could lead to him getting in a different environment, a more positive environment. Because right now it must be very, very toxic. Everyone blaming each other and all these different things.
This loan has just gone nowhere near as expected from all parts. Like, no one expected Rangers to be, what, 8? Are they 8th in the table now? Mm-hmm. Like, at this stage of the season.
1 win in 7 games.
This is Glasgow Rangers we're talking about. They're always in the top 2. You know, more or less more second than first, because Celtic are there. But they're always expected to fight for the title, not to be near a bloody relegation scrap, which is just unheard of. There's a few tweets I wanted to go through. This is from ONTHFC, said, "Hold that, Russ. Mikey Moore season starts now."
I think all Tottenham fans are celebrating as hard as Rangers fans.
Yeah, literally. And then look, Rangers fans are just not happy with him, though. But I think like they just need to be a bit patient. They need to realise that it's not just Mikey Moore that hasn't been well. Like, no one's been performing well. It's just been a complete shit show.
They've only scored 6 goals at all this season so far.
Yeah. This RG72 says Mikey Moore is a prime example of how much English media hype up young players, so overrated. Rangers Spares says Mikey Moore might be one of the worst players to ever play for us. And I've seen take McLaughlin over him. I don't know who that is, but maybe he's so bad I don't want to know. But yeah, look, Rangers fans aren't taking to him. And look, all it takes is probably one big performance from him, and then Rangers fans will start to realise.
Yeah, I do think, look, he's a massively talented player, and there's a lot to be excited about. But I think maybe we do need to just let him develop, and instead of just putting the pressure on him to be this superstar and be this amazing player. Every player develops in their own way. Yes, he's an exciting talent, but let's not put too much pressure on him.
Yeah, that's quite right. But yeah, look, very young, 18 years of age, and I still think he can have a good season there at Rangers, but it just hasn't started well for him, unfortunately. But I think it's very much down to circumstances as well. Next up, we're going to go and look at Luka Vuskovic, another player absolutely smashing it. This one, he's in the Bundesliga for Hamburg, 4 games, a goal to his name already, Luka Vuskovic. And this guy just exceeds expectations every single loan spell he goes to. Like at 16, he's going to the Polish league and being one of the best players in that league. At 17, he's going to the Belgian league and being one of the best players in that league.
Scoring overhead kicks against Club
You know
Brugge.
what I mean? And now he's gone to the Bundesliga, which is one of the top leagues in European football, and he's exceeding expectations once again.
Incredible. He's in such incredible talent. I think I didn't even, when we signed him at 15, I think it was, there was a bit of hype around him. He was starting games in the Croatian league at that point. And I was like, okay, that's obviously something to note, but, it's going to take time for him. Who knows how he's going to develop, but his career is literally gone like that, just in a straight line trajectory. Every stage, every point in his career, every challenge he's faced, he seems to be just batting it away. And not just batting away, hitting it for six. He's been a phenomenon so far, and he seems to be taking every challenge in his stride. Every question he's been asked, he has an answer for at the moment. And he's one of the most exciting talents right now, I think, in Europe, in that position for that age group. I can't think of a player to be more excited about. It's mad what he's been doing.
Yeah. And at 18, it just feels like he's been around for so long as well. He's 18, bro.
I know.
It's unbelievable.
Born in 2007.
If we look at some of the stats as well, if you go to X, Data MB has given us these stats. Under 18, most long passes completed in all the leagues. And he's there second with 110.
Well, that was for Westerlo.
Oh, was that for Westerlo?
That's what it says.
Oh, yeah, you're right there. But even still,
yeah, pretty good, yeah.
Unbelievable. Rising Star says 3 masterclasses in the last 3 games for Luka Vuskovic. Mainz, he got an 8.1, Union Berlin 8.3, and Heidenheim 8.7 when he scored the goal. I mean, the guy...
Goal and 2 clean sheets.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
This guy, Fiaco, says Luka Vuskovic is the best 18-year-old centre-back I've ever seen in my life.
He's getting some high praise at the moment. Everyone seems to be going crazy over. There's a lot of hype in Germany around Vuskovic, how he's performing. And understandably so. You got an 18-year-old just dominating in like proper centre forwards over there. It's crazy.
Football Talent Scout says Vuskovic in the Bundesliga this season, 36 duels contested, 29 duels won, a win rate of 81%.
That's mad.
18 years of age, destined for great things.
That's insane.
Yeah.
To have an 81% win rate of duels.
Yeah.
That is not normal. People think that's not normal stats. It really isn't. Even for the top centre-backs that league, that's like high.
Yeah.
That's mental.
His performance against Mainz by numbers was 90 minutes, clean sheet, 15 clearances, 21 defensive contributions, 5 out of 7 in aerial duels won, 7 ball recoveries, 3 blocks, 3 interceptions. That's 41 clearances made in the last 3 games.
I heard someone say he plays like he's trying to actively get a concussion.
And this was what the Croatia manager had to say on Luka Vuskovic as well. And he said, a huge talent. He plays exceptionally in the Bundesliga, and that's why he got a chance in the senior national team. I think he should be with us to fill the atmosphere and what awaits him. With him, Croatia secures its centre-back for the next 10 to 15 years. So that's where the national team are seeing him right now.
So, yeah, they see him as their future star. Do you reckon he gets a chance at the World Cup?
If he keeps going in this trajectory for Hamburg in the Bundesliga, I think he'll get called up. Yeah.
Wow, I wonder if he gets a starting spot at the World Cup.
Vuskovic alongside Guardiola.
Wow, imagine. That'd be mental.
And he's also won Rookie of the Month, which is basically like Young Player of the Month in the Bundesliga. This is the goal he scored as well.
Nice technique.
Really nice technique. The guy, like, what can't he do?
He's got really good technique on his shots. If you see some of the shots he has when he was playing for Westerlo, like I saw some like 30-yard like dipping efforts, like I don't know, like a attacking midfielder will be proud of. He's got really nice technique on his long passing and his shots as well. So he's not just this like big monster aerial duel winner, but he's actually got, but he can play as well.
Data MB as well says Vuskovic versus Bundesliga centre-backs per 90. So he's top in aerial duels, top in aerial duels won, top in defensive duel won percentage, top in interceptions, and second in progressive carries as well.
Wow.
And this is not just against under 18s in the Bundesliga. This is against all Bundesliga defenders.
And I think, because he's so tall, and there are people who say, they worry about his turn of pace. So the fact that he's first in interceptions, that means that's his reading of the game. Exceptional reading and understanding. And you need that if you don't have you're not blessed with unbelievable pace, which maybe he isn't. I think that goes to show his intelligence, and that's what sets him apart, as well as his unbelievable physical traits.
Yeah. Let's go and talk about Yang Min-hyuk now. Because Yang Min-hyuk, is he going to be Spurs' new South Korean star? He had that loan spell at QPR last season where he scored 2 goals, got a couple of assists to his name as well. His start to life at Portsmouth was difficult. You know, I think he started the first game and then was on the bench, not in the squad, and you're thinking, well, what's going on here? Like, he can't seem to get a look in at this moment in time. Like, not even coming off the bench and sub appearances. Last 2 games though, the 3 games ago, he came off the bench, I think he started, and then I think the manager's seen enough, and he's like, look, I'm going to give this guy consistent starts. Then he got a start, got a goal in a 2-2, and the last game they played Middlesbrough. And you're thinking Portsmouth got no chance here, playing top of the league Middlesbrough, who are on flying form, and he gets the goal and they win 1-0 at Fratton Park. So Yang Min-hyuk's life at Portsmouth has really started to flourish a little bit. Yeah,
and delighted for him, because it's very difficult, and not just because it's a new country, he's an 18-year-old kid. You also got the pressure of, like, Son, the biggest legend in South Korean football history, has played at this club. So you're kind of seen as following in his footsteps. You're always going to kind of be compared a bit. So, he's just got to find his own path in his own way. And Portsmouth this season, it was a difficult side, you say, but 2 goals in 2, he seems to be finding his feet, and all of a sudden he's getting the love from the fans. The players are showing him some support. He's starting to show his quality. And I watched some individual highlights of him in that game, and it wasn't just the goal. He was fantastic throughout the whole game, taking players on, creating chances, got the goal, but making smart decisions as well. I think he's really starting to adjust to life in the Championship, and Borough at the moment, as you say, flying in that league, and to put a performance like that against them shows how he's really finding his feet at that level.
Yeah, and if we go and have a look at his goals, like, really good technique on them as well. And you see this one, the first one, this was his goal against Middlesbrough. So this was the winner. This is his second goal. Like, bang, first touch, bang, into the back of the net. What great technique that was. And if you look at the other one, this was his first goal. So a long throw comes in, comes out to Yang Min-hyuk, first touch into the far corner. This seems like 2 carbon copies of the same goal.
Yeah, good technique, both finding the net, and obviously this is going to be giving the world of confidence, isn't it? To really get this loan spell up and running.
And then if you scroll down just a little bit, the Portsmouth fans, the Portsmouth players after the game, just chucking Yang Min-hyuk to the fans to let him get his adulation, and it's great to see.
Yeah, fantastic. And they took his coat off him. Oh, I love that.
You go have your moment. And let's hope there's going to be many more of them this season. But yeah, definitely going to be keeping a close eye on Yang Min-hyuk.
47, is that a tribute to Mikey Moore?
I don't know. He was... I don't know. So that's Yang. Next up, let's go talk about Manor Solomon at Villarreal, as he's played 3 games, 1 goal, 1 assist. He started life pretty well, to be honest, at Villarreal. He came on off the bench, got a goal. He got a really nice assist to his name with a lovely cross to the back post. And, he started pretty well.
Yeah, so fair play to him. A couple of clutch moments as well. Changed the game against, Osasuna. Came off the bench, got an assist, and they ended up winning that game when they were behind. And obviously a late winner against Sevilla. I think there's a good player there. We know that. Last season at Leeds, he was fantastic. Unfortunately, beginning of pre-season, he got that injury, and if he didn't, would we have seen him in a few games in pre-season get an opportunity? And maybe things could have been different. Unfortunately, he never got that opportunity, so we ended up, having to look to move him on. But I think he's already proving, this is a player that has got a lot to offer, I think.
Yeah, and I watched him for the national team against Italy, and he was fantastic against Italy on that left-hand side. He was causing real problems. And it just makes me think, like, I think he's shown more than the likes of Odebear, Tell, even impacting open play than kind of like the likes of Brennan Johnson. Like, if he was at Spurs, I believe that he would probably be our best left winger.
I think there's a good shout for it at the moment because he's performing the best. He offers the most. But obviously, Odebear, Tell, they're in different phases of their career. You know, Solomon's 26,
Yeah.
so he's obviously reaching his prime. Tel and Odebear still very young, so they went for the youngsters and went for people who can grow. But I reckon Solomon might well be our best left winger right now if he was here.
Yeah, which is, it's a shame he's not here, to be honest. But if we go and have a look at the goal that he did score, the winning goal against Sevilla, really nice goal. So there you see it. Ball comes over to the back post, and there's Manuel Solomon, finishes it clinically well on his left. And if you scroll down, this was against Osasuna, the assist.
It's a good ball in
It was
as well.
there in a half turn, half space, and
Good in swinger.
yeah, and that against Italy, he was doing all night long. Those kind of crosses to the back post.
I'm sure we could use that. That kind of crossing ability from the left-hand side.
Yeah. So that's Manor. Next up is Ashley Phillips. Phillips is an interesting one because obviously this is his second loan spell at Stoke, following on from last season. And yeah, he took a bit of a while to kind of break into the team, where he was having sub appearances. He had one start at the beginning of the season, and then he was just sat on the bench for a few games. But now he started the last 2 games, played 90 minutes, and looks like he's back in the side.
That's really great, because I was worried that it's hard sometimes for centre backs when they're in our favour to reclaim the spot if the other centre backs are performing consistently well, because that's what you want at the back, is consistency. So if he's out of the team, it can be difficult to get that spot. But he's starting games again. He's showing he's at home at that level. He's already had a good loan spell last season. So let's hope he can keep going from strength to strength.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if they've had a change in manager or a change of something, but now he's playing in this back four where he's on the right side of the defence. I don't know. I think it was the same last year, but last year, like, they were talking about him as like one of the best centre backs that they've seen for a long time at Stoke.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that can carry on in that vein. Now he's back into the team. The next player is Alfie Devine. Alfie Devine is doing very well out at Preston at the moment. Really well, to be honest. The fans have taken a real liking to him. 10 games, 2 goals, 2 assists, a constant fixture in the starting lineup. The goals that he's scored have been of such high quality. He's really impacting things in the Championship.
Which is great. Obviously, last season he was also at Westerlo, wasn't he, with Vuskovic. Had a decent loan spell, nothing too incredible, but he was also showing he was at home in that level. So, big season for him in the Championship to prove something. And it looks like he started life really well. The fans love him. He seems to be performing at a good level. And some of the goals he scored, one goal he scored was absolutely phenomenal, but he seems to be consistently providing really good moments, high quality moments for them.
Yeah, so if we go look at some of his highlights. So this first one was an assist from the corner, so puts it right on the money, bang, in the back of the net. This other one was another assist.
This is on the weekend
that he got against Charlton. Nice little pass into the perfect area.
That looks easier than it is on his weaker foot, left foot, in behind, puts it on a plate for the striker.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant ball.
Look at this one as well, Seb Martin. He is just, if we put the volume up on this a little bit. Alfie Devine, ole ole. See, they even got a song for him.
Alfie Devine, ole ole.
They've even got a song for him. That is what you love to see.
They're absolutely loving him over there. Incredible.
If you scroll down to the next one, look at this goal. Look at this hit. Bang. You ain't getting more top bins than that. That is right into the side netting, pinged into the back of the net.
He's not left-footed, isn't he? He's
Devine?
right-footed.
I'm not sure. What foot?
Was that assist was his left foot, and that goal was his left foot as well. But I'm pretty sure he's right-footed.
I don't know, but
maybe he just has a very strong weak foot.
Yeah, but he's that goal is incredible.
One touch, doesn't think about it too much, and bam. It's an incredible strike. Oh.
Yeah, it says here he is right-footed.
Yeah, so he just has an incredible weak foot.
And that's what you need. That's what you need. And
but this is a player as well we were talking about potentially selling in the summer.
Yeah. Look, again, like, we've got so many players in that position, don't we? He's got a big job on his hands to get into the Tottenham team. but he's showing that he's definitely going to make a career for himself. That's for sure.
Definitely.
If you look down, this was his other goal that he scored.
Yeah, and that's also really. Look at this. So this is not easy whatsoever. There's a ball in behind. He's got so much to do here. Keeper's coming out. He takes it beyond him. It's a tight angle, and he somehow finds the far corner from there on the run as well. That is so difficult to do. That is such high quality. That is really high quality from Alfie Devine.
Yeah, and last but not least,
but what? You know, if he keeps showing that kind of quality, what do we do with him?
First of all, give him a new contract, and look, if they think he can come to Spurs and make an impact and fight for a spot, then I'm all for it. But it's either that or get a really decent fee for him, maybe with a buyback clause or something.
Yeah, I don't know if we send him on another loan. I kind of feel like it's either use him or lose him this summer.
He is 21 now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And last but not least, Alejo Veliz out in Rosario Central for Argentina. 11 games, 3 goals. He's definitely their starting number 9. He's doing really well out in Rosario Central. And if we bring on X and play this one, this has just got all his goals in. While he was doing an interview, they were showing his goals. And yeah, he's kind of back in similar surroundings and kind of picked up where he left off.
And he's blonde.
Yeah, he's blonde now.
Fantastic. I'm delighted for him because the last 2 years have been very, very difficult for him, haven't they? He's struggled a lot to get game time, whether it be out on loan or for Tottenham, and it's really gone badly for him, his development. So he's back at home, back under familiar surroundings, and back scoring goals where he's happy. He seems to be in a lot better place. I'm delighted for him because it's just, I felt so bad for him the way things were going over the last couple of years. I don't know if his future's ever going to be at Tottenham, unfortunately, but I'm happy he's back playing and scoring again.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was also a picture of him on social media that he posted up of him watching the Spurs Leeds game, showing where his heart's really at.
Yeah, look, he's still contracted to the club, so maybe he will be back. Who knows? Maybe you never know. Comes back one pre-season, smashes it out. Maybe he gets an opportunity.
I actually liked him when he was at Spurs. I thought, there were times where, he shows really good energy on the pitch, a good mentality about him. Scored that goal against Brighton, and then kind of he got injured after that. And unfortunately, we never saw him. But, he got a lot of bad rap from the Spurs fans, and I just felt like it wasn't that warranted.
Yeah, but I think he's just another player that represented, a cheap player that probably isn't going to work out. We've had so many of them over, I think we always kind of held something against players we hadn't heard of.
Yeah. But that's that. That is the loan roundup. So obviously we'll keep you up to date how they progress and how they keep going on their loan spells. But yeah, there's some players in there that you want to see more from. But I think by and large, the majority of them are having really good loan spells.
Yeah, and I think we found a good place for a lot of these players. So that's really, really great. That's not always been the case, has it? So
yeah, I think last year and this year though, it's been
finding better players.
Yeah, it's been much better. So that is the loan roundup. Let us know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding these players. Which ones are you most excited for? Which ones do you want to see more from? Excited to hear your opinions. And are we going to finish off on some comments? Is that the plan?
That's the plan. Let's get the comments up.
All right, so let's get rid of this. Can you make it full screen?
Yeah, go on, there you go.
Well, you can keep the bottom. Well, it doesn't matter. You should just take that off. Yeah. All right, let's react to your comments because once again, we are Tottenham TV Army, strong as always, leaving the best. Although I haven't seen any of these comments, but I'm going to call them the best comments anyway. But let's get into them.
All right, first of all, so there was a big response to the video, Ariane defending Vicario. A lot of people saying there was an agenda, a lot of people criticising Vicario. Ariane saying there was an agenda against Vicario and he actually is doing really well. So KC Floors 1774 says, I kind of agree with him. Vicario is fine with the ball at his feet. but is a great shot stopper. That's what we need at the moment. Can he be upgraded? Sure, but it'll be hard to find in the current market, and there are other pressing areas that we need. The goal was 100% the defence's fault. The goalkeeper's primary job is to stop that first shot, and the rest is on the defence.
See, first of all, I just want to put out there with Vicario, like, there's always a clamour, like, if a player's, I don't even think he's playing that badly, but he has made a few mistakes. And when you're a goalkeeper,
not in great form.
When you're a goalkeeper, that's always going to be highlighted a lot more than maybe anyone else. Where a defender can make a mistake sometimes, but it doesn't culminate in a goal, and then it kind of gets forgotten about the next day.
Or
whereas
a striker misses a charge.
Yeah, exactly. But if a goalkeeper makes a mistake, like, basically there's no room for errors for goalkeepers. Where other players on the pitch, there are room for errors. But I think he's a very good goalkeeper, in my opinion, and I do think that he's been, given a very harsh ride, and I don't think he should be dropped at this moment in time. But look, there is a bit of a pylon on him at the moment, which he has made mistakes over the last few games. But this comment saying that the primary job of a goalkeeper is to stop it. Yeah, fine, the primary job is to stop it, but it's also, you're learnt as a goalkeeper to parry it in an area where it's not the 6-yard box. You need to parry it as far wide as possible, and he failed to do that.
This isn't high school football, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is Premier League. You are the best, supposed to be anyway. I'm not saying Vicario isn't, but you're supposed to be in the elite of your profession and your position. And at the elite level, it's not good enough just to stop it. You have to get rid of the danger. And I think Vicario has actually been quite good at that on a lot of occasions, but recently, too often, he's spilling the ball into dangerous areas, and it's giving away goals. And he let go of that goal against Brighton as well, which was a massive howler. Now, I do think out of all the goals he conceded recently, the one against Leeds was probably less his fault than the others, because it did take a big deflection. It was hard to deal with. So I don't blame him as much as I maybe blame him for the other goals, but it still wasn't a great look, and it still was pretty weak from him, I felt, to just spill it right in front of the goal. And obviously it was a game. It was also a frustration because we seemed to be in control at that moment, and we just let them back in the game out of nowhere. But luckily we went on to win. And look, to be fair to Vicario, he'd saved us a bit in the second half, so you've got to give him credit there.
Yeah. Thing is, like, all this kind of criticism towards Vicario, and I understand, I get it. Like, he needs to be doing better in those moments. But whenever people criticise him, they don't mention the amount of times he saves us, because he saves us a hell of a lot of times as well.
He does. He then makes really great saves, and he makes some unbelievable shot-stopping saves. So I agree with that. I think that gets overlooked. Chris Chicky9588 says, Vicario continues to give up cheap rebounds. He has no poise under pressure. His distribution is terrible. Often caught out of position on simple long strikes because he's rooted to the ground. He's made many amazing saves, and that can't be overlooked. But I think there's a much better options out there. This year, I would say almost 100% of conceded goals could have and should have been stopped by him. Bodo game, he was hung out to dry by the defence. I'm not including those 2 goals. 100% of the goals could have been stopped by him, is he saying?
Well, we've only conceded 5 goals.
And then 2 against PSG. But I don't think the PSG ones, I'm trying to think. Lee Kang-in was a good goal.
Yeah, I don't know if he's talking about the PSG. I think he's talking about the league goals. But 5 of the league goals, I mean, look, the one against Leeds, you can account to him. 2 against Brighton, definitely one of them you can account to him, potentially 2.
I mean, I don't even count. I mean, it's a 1-on-1. So it's like saying, it's a bit like blaming the goalkeeper for not saving a penalty. Yes, even if it was a bad penalty, you know what I mean? The odds are against him in that situation.
And what are the other 2 goals that we conceded?
Wolves. Yeah, you can probably say. Did we say the Wolves already?
No.
Wolves. And Bournemouth, that was also a big deflection.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can say that.
I don't know if you can say 100%, but, a large majority for sure.
You're right. A lot of, definitely you could say he could have done better with over 50% of them.
Yeah.
And that's got to be a bit of a concern.
Yeah.
So,
but also, like,
letting the defence down a bit.
By the way, let's be real. Like, at this stage of the season, we said the same thing about Cuti Romero. Like a lot of
Last
the goals
season.
that we conceded at the early stages of the last season were down to Cuti Romero.
Yeah, look, and it's just a bit of form, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's it. We know. I think that's it. It's just a bit of form. I don't think blaming him and saying he's rubbish based on a bit of bad form is the right approach. Yes, we want him to do better, but all these people saying he's a liability, he's this and that, I don't think it's true.
Yeah.
LMRYB2S says, bro, there is no agenda. He's just not reliable. He's a great shot stopper, but he punches too much when he should catch the ball. And when he punches it, doesn't punch it but the right area and gives it straight to the opposition.
Look, his punching can be erratic at times. Sometimes he kind of, when the ball comes straight to him, he punches it when he should be catching it. I've noticed.
Obviously, he had that moment in the Europa League final as well when Van de Ven had to clear it off.
Yeah, mate. If that would have gone in, and Van de Ven,
we would all hate him.
You know what I mean? Like if that went in, like because that was a big mistake.
Honestly,
that was a massive mistake from Vicario. We would, and rightly so, because that's a massive moment. You know,
that would have been like his Karius moment.
Look, Vicario is not faultless and not blameless in the mistakes that he makes, but I do think he's a very good goalkeeper. I feel like with Vicario, though, sometimes his form is very patchy and he needs to be more consistent. That is the reality.
I think the one thing he needs to work on is sometimes he just causes a bit too much panic.
Yeah.
He needs to be working to cause it and getting calmness in that back line. And I think there was one spell where he really did this, but maybe it was just because it was such a big difference to what we had, is when he came back from injury last year. We had obviously Kinski and Forster all not kind of doing it in goal. And then Vicario came in and he just gave this air of calmness in the back line and he gave this air of confidence. But recently, I don't know what it down to him or whatever it is, but he's not had that. He's causing too much panic. He's playing passes out of play. He's panicking on the ball. Against Leeds, he went for one of these punches right up in the air when he could have caught it and stuff like that. Sometimes he does it. He just punches for no reason when he could catch it. He's got to work on causing more calmness and not being so amped up all the time. And it's kind of one of his big strengths, but can also be a bit of a weakness sometimes with Vicario. So
I agree with that.
That's something he's got to work on.
Yeah. He's by no means the finished article on the fitted project as a goalkeeper. He needs to be better. He needs to get better.
But you got to remember,
I still very much like him as a goalkeeper.
This is his third season. Well, it's no excuse anymore because he is like 28, but he's still like, it's not like he's been playing in the top level for a long time. Like he only started playing in the top level of the season before he joined Tottenham. So he's still got a bit of learning to do.
Yeah, I mean, look, he still should know better than some of the mistakes he makes with 4 seasons in a top league starting for a club.
No, I get that, but that calmness comes with a lot of experience and comes with like being a veteran. He's still kind of in his early days of being like in this league, in like the top league. So I mean, so he's still got this kind of youthful almost exuberance and excitement, and he's just got to calm himself down a bit. He's got to work on calming himself down.
Yeah, but you know, he's considered a leader in this group. So I mean, as a leader, you shouldn't be showing that kind of those kind of traits.
Yeah. Danny Foster says, I know it's unrelated to this video, but guys, can you please get the Forest fan content creator that spent the whole summer smugly telling us how good their owner was and that Forest were a bigger club than Spurs? He single-handedly made me hate a club I'd quite liked. I need to see him own his own nonsense.
Mate, Nottingham Forest fans and Wolfie are so in the mud right now. It's unbelievable.
The Wolfie meltdowns have been some of my favourite content I've ever seen. It's been fantastic. It's been absolutely fantastic. I love that he backtracked obviously he went on an Ange when he was our manager, and then he said how bad he was. Then he backtracked when Forest appointed him, and now like after a few games he's fully like burn it all down. Ange is the worst. Get out of my club. All this kind of stuff. It is beautiful to see. The anger when they concede is have to say, it's enjoyable.
The thing is, like, looking at the Forest fans right now, it's just deja vu of last season. Large parts of last season, as you know, they're showing a lot of the same traits as what Spurs showed at times.
But yeah, Forest is it's a sight to behold how badly it's going.
You know what I mean? Like rushing Murillo back, him going off injured in the 25th minute, very much reminiscent of what we did.
He
with,
was on the bench last game.
Huh?
He was on the bench last game.
Yeah, but he still came back. You know, he came back right from injury and then went off after 25 minutes.
Yeah,
that's what happened. So then that happened. Obviously, they've been conceding quite a few from set pieces, where they were like one of the best defensive set pieces team in the league before Ange came. And 7 games, no wins, 007 for Ange.
007. But yeah, Wolfie is absolutely in the mud at the moment. It's absolutely phenomenal to see. We'll try and get it back on. We'll try. I'll see if I can put.
Not only Wolfie's in the mud, but Ange is in the mud as well.
Let's wait. To see. I'm calling Wolfie out here. I'm not going to say Ange. But look, I don't mind. Look, Ange can flop at Forest. I'm not bothered about that. But I'm delighted to see Marinakis get eat some humble pie.
Yeah, you know what? For a man that says that we always win, he ain't winning very often.
No, absolutely not. It's all gone very wrong for him. Ron Shazbart 2723 says, I think you guys are getting carried away with Kudus. Good solid 8, no problem, but twice if he had gambled and got in that back post position that Johnson is good at, he could have got another 2 tap-ins. His goal was like Ginola the like. Is he like Ginola? Kudus? David Kudus?
I love Ginola, man. He was my childhood hero growing up. There are a few similar traits where, you know, it's incredibly hard to get them off the ball. And Ginola, like, he didn't score a lot of goals, but every goal he did score was fantastic. And I guess that goal that he did score was a little bit Ginola-like, but I want to see him score a few more of those fantastic goals before I say he's Ginola-like.
But I understand what you're saying, like, if Kudus would, you know, gets in those positions like Johnson, you know, he'll get maybe more goals. But like, I'd much rather my winger performs like Kudus and Johnson, even if it means maybe a few less goals potentially.
The reality is we want our winger to do both.
Obviously, and then you're the best winger in the league. But that's
what we want. The best winger in the league.
Obviously, that's what we want, but not every winger can be the best.
He can do it though, Kudus. Like he's got the dribbling ability. He's got the physicality. He can last long. There's no reason why he can't position himself at the back post when the ball's on the other side of the pitch.
Yeah, he's got to work on it for sure. But I'm just saying, like, I much would rather my winger performs like Kudus and Johnson.
Yeah, of course. Who wouldn't? But there is something to say about Johnson's positional play. And the positions that he takes up in the box and the amount of goals that he gets.
For sure. But Kudus did get a golden assist anyway.
Yeah.
Lost on, he says, every time Kudus is on the ball, my optimism goes through the roof.
I tell you, that's very Ginola-like. Because like every time he gets on the ball, it makes you stand up and it makes you be like, go on, Kudus. You can do this. And you don't think he's going to get dispossessed off the ball. The same with Ginola. When he used to get the ball on the left-hand side, you knew something was about to happen. No matter where he picked it up from as well, whether it be, you know, at the edge of our own box, on the byline, anywhere he used to pick up the ball, you thought something was going to happen. And I do feel the same with Kudus.
Yeah, absolutely. He's one of those bums off seats kind of players. And he's one of those players where he does things that you can barely believe what you're watching. Like, you're thinking, did that just happen? How the hell did he just do that?
Like he's on the ball, right? He gets dispossessed. He's like on the floor.
Got 4 players around.
He's got 4 players around. And somehow he gets up off the floor, retains possession, and all these 4 players are left in the dust. I don't understand how he does it sometimes.
It's crazy. It's absolutely mental. Alex Bander 6390 says, when Maddison, Decky, Solanke, Dragic and Moani come back from injury, Spurs will go places.
Well, is Moani ever going to play a game with Maddison?
Yeah, good question. We'll see. Maybe not Matt. Look, I think Maddison we have to wait, but Decky, Solanke, Dragic, Moani, I don't think any of them, they're all that far off.
Yeah.
Coming back, so I think it's mad to think how much talent still we got to come back into the team and Frank's got to use that we haven't kind of been able to utilise yet.
Well, they're saying we could be just a month away from Decky being in training. So that would be incredible.
And yeah, we need Solanke and Moani just provide that little more firepower, another option to Richie as well. That would be absolutely massive. I
Yeah.
think for our attacking options. So I know the thing is, the problem I would say about that is just when they come back, they might need a bit of time to gel. They haven't had the time. They haven't had pre-season. Obviously, they need to get time back to full fitness as well. So I wouldn't necessarily say as soon as they're back, it's going to be plain sailing. But when they're back fit and had a few games with the team, I think we're going to see our attack level up again.
Yeah, I hope so.
DJ Nasty says, "Come on, Ben. Let's at least wait until Solanke and Moani get fit and give them a chance to show what they can do under Frank. I would agree that Richie has flattered to deceive, but the other two haven't gotten a chance to show what they can do yet."
What did I say?
DJ Nasty's calling you out. He says, "Come on, Ben." He said, "Let's wait." I think you were saying maybe we should sign a striker.
Oh, it was probably when we were talking about Ivan Toney, right? When I was saying that Ivan Toney is better than all our strikers. And if we get the opportunity to sign someone that's better than what we have at the club, we should do it. And I still stand by that. Don't get me wrong. Like, I want to see what Solanke and Moani can do under Frank. We haven't seen them under Frank yet. And I'm hoping that they can, well, we haven't seen Moani at all, but I'm hoping that Solanke can, you know, show us more than what he showed last season under Ange. And I'm quite confident that he can do that. However, I think that no matter the position, I still think we need to be ruthless. Like, if there is a player that we can get that is better than anyone in any position, we need to do that. It's been too long at this football club where we've just said, oh, this player is good, so we don't look to upgrade them even if the player is available. Well, I think we need to go into that now. Like, if a player is available that we can realistically sign that is better than what we have, we should go do it.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Yeah, that's fair. Kulu Warrior says Tony is better than all the strikers at Spurs. Stop trying to rate these meaty bums that we have up front. It shows a lack of ambition on your behalf. Richarlison should have gone a long time ago. Solanke is average at best, especially now he's always injured. Tell should have never been signed in the first place. I think you're being very harsh on all these players, to be honest. But look, is Tony better than all the strikers? Yes, but who made him that way? It was Frank, right? You know, he wasn't that good before Frank. And Frank got him to a level where he was one of the best strikers in the league. Who's to say he can't do it with these strikers?
Yeah. I think...
Why not? Why can't he make these strikers as good as Tony? What's to say he can't?
I mean, I hope he can. That's
Tony
the hope.
wasn't Tony before Frank. Why can't these guys be as good?
Tony was young, wasn't he, before Frank got his hands on him?
Well, he left at what, 28? He left at, what is he, 29 now?
Yeah.
So he must be, what, 24?
What, when he joined Brentford?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm not that young.
24 is fairly young. I mean, how old's Solanke?
Solanke's what, 28?
Yeah. So, I mean...
Tell's 20, Richarlison's 28, Moani's 25.
Yeah. So, look, Moani's a season-long loan, so we'll have to see how that works out. But I'm mainly talking about Richarlison and Solanke when I'm talking about trying to replace for Ivan Toney. And, you know, like, how much development can there be when you're 28 years of age, 29 years of age? I think he can get them to a better level. But kind of, I feel like when you're that age, it kind of like you're supposed to be in your prime. It's just like you're the player who you are at that age. You know what I mean? You're not going to get, you might get better and show better form, but it's
Tell
kind
that
of
to Usman Dembele.
Huh?
Tell that to Usman Dembele.
Yeah, look, there are one-offs here and there, but
it's coaching.
The general rule is once you're kind of in your prime and once you're 28, 29, 30, that's kind of the player who you are.
Okay, but they're good players. And why can't he get more goals out of them?
They're decent players. They're not like world beaters or anything. They're decent players.
They're good players, in my opinion. And what Tony?
They're decent players. They're not players that are gonna like. They're not players that the ambitions that we have to be top 4 regulars or title challengers or anything like that. They're not players that our rivals would sign.
No, but neither was Tony before he had that breakout year. I'm just saying it. Frank could develop these strikers and get them to be scoring more goals. He's got a very good track record with strikers. Ivan Toney, in his first season of the league, wasn't a 20-goal a season striker. Maybe not even a second. It took like 3 seasons.
Yeah.
So, my point being, why can't Frank? Why don't we think Frank can do a lot of these strikers that we got? Why are we so pessimistic about it?
Because, like I said, Tony was younger when he was developing him. Like Solanke, I think Solanke and Richarlison, I like them. I think they're decent players. I've got nothing against them. But I think if we really want to take this team onto the next level, I think we need better quality.
Like Ivan Toney.
Ivan Toney for like a short-term option, but even him, like as a long-term option, is like he's probably at the wrong age for us. Like I still think we need better better quality.
That's different. I'm talking about comparing him to Ivan Toney.
But Ivan Toney is better than them both.
Why? I don't think necessarily. I think he had a good season, but I don't see Toney being this like guy that we have to sign. Like, it's marginal, in my opinion.
Maybe.
Tony. Fana Record says Kudus and Semenyo equals Robin and Ribery.
Come on.
The Ghanaian Robin and Ribery.
Yeah, I'm all over that, man. I mean, Semenyo would be such an unbelievable signing for us. I think that that would take us on levels and levels and levels. I just don't think we're going to sign him.
Yeah, look, you never say never, but at the moment it seems like a very long way away to getting someone like him through the door. Emmanuel Asante says, why always the agenda to downplay Kudus? How is Archie Gray ahead of Kudus? This is about our rankings, I think. You saw Kudus leading all those stats and was like, yep, not as good as Gray. For fuck's sake, he's a new signing.
What's he saying? Why? Who's downplaying Kudus?
It's because in our tier list, he was below Gray.
I saw all those comments on our tier list and I was thinking like, you guys don't understand this tier list. This tier list was for the month of September. That really good performance was in October. Like,
so people thinking we're saying that Gray has had is a better player than Kudus. Is that what people think we're saying?
Look, let's just put the record straight. Like, Kudus has been much better than Gray this season. However, Gray has played a game and a bit, and he got a very high rating for that game and a bit. And because Kudus has played every game, and not every game has been sensational, that average rating gets dropped down a little bit. And it's not where we think the player is, it's where the player ratings have averaged them.
Exactly. So I guess there's a bit of miscommunication.
Yeah. But yeah, look, that is the comments. Let us know in the comments section below, and hopefully we'll react to some of your we'll react to more comments over the coming days, because it is international breaks. So
please comment.
we'll keep commenting and we'll keep reacting. So Romeo in the comment says, Ben, you are always moving the posts. Which posts am I moving, Romeo?
Depends what he's saying. He's had a few messages. He says you need players who are put in position. You're expecting him to do something he don't do. Strikers, the issue because the manager is Frank. Where was this energy under Ange? Then you was on a manager for the defence, always moving posts. Ben, you're always moving posts. I don't know what he means. Energy about what?
Explain yourself, Romeo, man. Explain yourself.
Trying to work out what he's trying to say. Is he trying? I think he's trying to say that.
I think, what was he saying? Like, strikers are only as good as the service that they get? Something along those lines? Like, are you Australian, Romeo?
I think maybe. Yeah, but what's the narrative?
I have no idea.
I think what I'm trying to get here is he's saying the strikers are now struggling because of Frank. But when Ange was manager, the strikers were scoring, but we had no defence. So you're complaining about that. So you're always moving the goalposts. I think
you say basically you're moving the post to suit your narrative. But what's my narrative?
The last season was about how bad. So you're saying last season the problems were about how bad the defence is, and now this season, he's saying you're going on about how bad the strikers are, and you're, I don't know, you seem to be moving the goalposts or something. I don't know.
But last season, I wasn't overhyping our strikers either. So I mean, but last season the defense, the defense wasn't great. You know, we conceded so many goals. So you can only go on what you see in front of your eyes. And right now, in front of our eyes, the defence looks really good because of the structure that Thomas Frank has set upon us. And the striker, I think...
To be fair, the record with Romero and Van der Ven wasn't bad.
Yeah, it's not... Yeah, it wasn't, to be fair. But...
And he's played Romero and Van der Ven every game so far.
Last year, I was very excited to see Solanke at this club. And I think he flattered to deceive last season.
Yeah.
That's the reality. Richarlison, on the other hand, he's never been like a 20-goal-a-season striker that we so desperately want. Like, at least Solanke has actually shown that in one season in the Premier League. Like, Richarlison's never shown that. Tony's shown it, albeit I think it's got a hell of a lot of penalties in that season. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see, won't we? Which ones that Frank can bring on to kind of provide the goals that we desperately need.
I think you can get a lot out of these strikers. I really do. I think they can all be goal scorers. I really think that, and especially when he's got options.
But like, these strikers have a ceiling, though, don't they? These strikers have a ceiling. Like, if we want to go and fight, look, I know we're a long way off it, and the ambition has got to be to go and fight at the top. Like, if we want to fight at the top, we need better than what we got.
Yeah, probably. But for now, I think they're fine.
For now, for a top 4 fight, yeah, I think that they could be good enough this season. But still, we need to see more from what we've seen.
We haven't seen Solanke and Warney.
Well, I'm saying for Solanke in general, like over what we saw last season.
Yeah, fine, that's fair. I'm just
saying, and from what we've seen from Richarlison in general.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to see more from him as well in what we've seen in the last few games, for sure. But we've seen some very good performances as well. But he needs some help. Obviously, Tell scored on the weekend, but yeah, we just need Moani. For me, I think we need Moani and Solanke to get fit. Yeah. I think we'll be okay.
Yeah. All right, well, that is that, people. We'll see you again. Well, I won't see you again tomorrow. We've got Daigle back in the studio with Sim, but that is it from us today. We'll see you all very soon. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.